What is up, everybody? We are back once again with another episode of the WrestleSense podcast, where your WrestleSense is your opinion on wrestling. Like who you like, hate who you hate, cheer who you cheer, boo who you want to boo. It's all up to you. We're not going to tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how you should be a fan. You're a fan any way you want to be. And let's check out who we got here. We got some news that have happened here in the last couple days in the wrestling world. And we got Wally in the house. Great to see you. Wally's in the building. Good to see you. Monstar sucking on Doc's teeth, as he always does. Gotta love that. Welcome, my friend. Mark Caliber, we got the whole Canadian contingent here as well. Always a pleasure. And Shifty, Platinum Dragon Studios. Good to see you, my friend, as well. Oh, man, it's going to be a good one. We got Crushing Kelly here. Jackhammer Nation. Jesse Jackhammer in the house. Great to see you. So we're going to talk a little bit about news, and we're going to talk a little bit about our 2 cents of what we think about what's going on in the wrestling world. We're no experts. We're just dudes here talking. I'm just the host with not so most, just taking up space. We got the real talent here, and the gentleman that will make this a little more entertaining, as it always is when we bring all 4 of us knuckleheads together. Let's bring Doc on first, because you know he ain't ready.
Hi.
What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Can you hear me pretty well without these?
Yeah.
Okay, really good. So my son can play Fortnite without me having to get ready to. Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
How you doing besides that?
Fucking wonderful, man.
Great. Yeah, we're all in shitty moods here. Let me bring someone else that's in a shitty mood. We're all in shitty moods today.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm being repeatedly punched in the fucking head for the past 4 months. So life is fucking great. It's great.
Well, there goes the no F-bombs in the first 10 minutes of the show. So.
Well, fuck it.
Whoops. Fuck. No.
So let's bring Sunshine in, the man who's going to make us all so much happier.
Hey, cunts!
Great,
Fuck
great.
you, I fell asleep last week. What happens when you run 18 businesses and never have time to sleep?
At least you can sleep, because I've not been, and it's fantastic.
Blaze, I found something and I thought of you, not to downplay CJ's fucked up brain.
Okay.
But every time you do the little clap sound effect, this is all I could think about is...
Oh, wow. I mean, that's pretty good. I give you credit.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Good to see Clinton in the house. Jade is here. Andrew's here. Let's just get right into it, man.
Yeah, please, can we?
There's really nothing to hide but what's going down. We're going to try to make some sense of it in the first segment. So I was gathering content like I normally do for the show, making a little outline, and CM Punk off the cover of the Fight Forever game. I thought that would be nice to talk about. Sami Zayn having an orgasm with some popcorn and the bloodline. I figured that might be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay White contract coming up. That was going to be the biggest news on the other day, but it turned out something, took precedent.
Somebody said, hold my beer.
Yeah, I mean, and his contract's coming up. He's possibly coming to America. Who knows where? And then I saw Teal Piper debut, the daughter of Roddy. She even used his music, which was pretty cool. And I'm thinking, man, we got a bunch of little tidbits to talk about. And then this little letter popped up on the internet. And basically saying Stephanie resigns her position and Vince is back in charge. So the elephant in the room is what will happen next? Where will we go from here? The whys, the whos, the people jumping to conclusions on the internet was great. I sat back and had my popcorn of my own, and I Sami Zayn'd it all over the place as well. Now, the question is the buy. People started talking about it's going to be for sale right away, but Vince back on board. He's already getting sued by some shareholders. But this is what's really weird. This timeline over the last year. I mean, we've talked about it since we've been here doing this podcast. There's never a lack of wrestling news for this show. So where we're at now compared to what happened 6 months ago, are we back in the same spot? I mean, we missed Ray last week, so I want to start with Ray and pick into your brain. You always have really good analysis about things that are going down. Where do we stand in your mind? What's going through your head about this whole Vince possible sale and back in charge thing?
Here's the thing. So if you've watched the show Succession on HBO, which I know CJ is a fan of as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is basically playing out like a storyline from Succession.
Mm-hmm.
Vince took, what are we saying, like maybe 10 months off, 6 months off, something like that. He claims in that thing that he got bad information. What bad information? The lawsuits haven't been settled. Nothing has been fixed up to this point. So the idea... Sorry, I was chewing on a cough drop. The idea of the Saudi sale makes a lot of sense because if somebody has the money to put WWE private again, then he can do whatever he wants to do. He can still be sued, but it isn't going to affect the company, et cetera, et cetera. But we all saw the backlash that happened with the idea of a Saudi sale. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, literally anything you say at this point is pure fucking speculation other than Vince has decided that, you know what, I'm not going to go quietly into the night. I'm not retiring. And honestly, this is probably the way it's going to be until he's dead. WWE is his fucking baby, and no one's killing it but him, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, what was going through your mind, Doc, when all this was going down the other night?
You really, really want the truth, huh?
Yeah,
I'll tell you the truth. No, I'm serious on this one. I'm actually very depressed. I'm depressed out of my fucking mind over it. And to be honest with you, I've watched professional wrestling since I was probably 5. I can tell you the first match I ever watched, which was Hulk Hogan versus Tiger Chung Lee. I can tell you the first pay-per-view I ever watched, which was WrestleMania 2. And how I saw WrestleMania 1 was my uncle taped it off of Channel 4 when they showed it in syndication. So I'm watching something that I've loved and just been, a fan. I'd actually now a part of my whole life. And it's going to shit. It's going to crumbles, all because somebody wants to show somebody else whose dick's bigger. And it's pathetic. I looked up to that man when I was a child. I looked up to Vince McMahon as a commentary, because that's what he was. He was the commentator, and I mean, just watching him and laughing whenever the bad guys, got screwed over, stuff like that. And now I sit back and I say to myself, like, my God, this was an idol of mine. It's depressing. And I got to sit here and I got to explain to an 8-year-old that WWE might not be around anymore. You might see 8 or 10 people on AEW next week. Why? Because this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And it honestly it's really like, it's actually ripped me out from the inside, man. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to fucking say, oh, F WWE, F Vince. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, God damn it. Why? You have 2 perfect people that could take this ship and lead it into the sunset in Triple H and his wife, Stephanie. He's more Stephanie than anybody.
Yeah.
But look what happened now. Honest to God, to quote the great Michael Dougherty, my dad, Big Doc, fuck him and everybody that looks like him for what he's doing. Not only what he's doing to his kids, but what he's doing to every fan and kid since forever has been watching professional wrestling. I'm done.
Oh, you got a good point to start out there, Doc, is that this guy is the man who created pro wrestling to what it is today. So yes, that credit has to go there, but now it's to the point where the sale seems imminent. It's inevitable, but where will it go? How will it go? the Saudi thing blew up the other night, and everyone thought, oh, it's going to happen. But now, still a possibility. But there's all these other major players.
Well, look, let's break down here what you have on the screen, because there's some pretenders in here and there's some players in here. Okay, I see
one missing.
I don't see NBC Universal or Fox getting in the business of running a wrestling company. They are networks. They're going to continue to be networks. That's not happening. Same thing with Prime Video. Prime Video does have a studio side, just like everybody else. They create content, but they more want to broadcast the content. Same thing with Netflix. Same thing with most of the companies on here. Now, Warner Brothers could be the black sheep because they already have a wrestling division thanks to AEW, but that would necessitate some type of agreement with AEW's management, whether they become part of AEW, they buy WWE, something like that. That's a lot more thing here, but there's three that are realistic to me. The Walt Disney Company. I mean, the intellectual property and marketing the WWE has is worth a shit ton of money. Obviously, Walt Disney already has the means to take that on, to monetize that. We could see a fucking Hollywood Studios WWE land, like you see Star Wars land or something.
That would be cool.
You have Endeavor, who owns the UFC. Obviously, owning the UFC, we saw, not necessarily crossover, but a lot of close promotion between those two companies for different things. And Endeavor definitely has the money to do so. And then, regardless of whether you like it or not, the PIF from Saudi Arabia is a big fucking player. Now, to the point where everybody's overreacting, saying all the girls are going to have to all wrestle in bodysuits and blah, blah, blah.
They're not going to be wrestling at all if that's the case.
Thank you.
It may or may not be, but here's the issue. I don't think it's because of the Saudis changing anything. I think it becomes a moral issue for the workers involved.
I agree.
Whether they want to work for a company, because what the PIF has done, they've bought soccer teams. Yeah. They took a soccer team that was fighting relegation. I don't know if you guys watch soccer or not, but basically in professional soccer, a team can be relegated down to a lower league if it doesn't perform well. The PIF bought a team that is now competing for first place every single year because they just threw a shit ton of money at it because they have more money than they know what to do with. They started their own golf league.
That's what I was just going to get into. I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but that Live Golf is turning out to kind of be a flop because nobody wants to take the distribution rights because of who's in charge of it.
That's what I was getting at. So they have the money to throw at. So every PGA golfer, Phil Mickelson was offered a contract around 20 times what he makes on the PGA Tour, which he was already making a shit ton of money.
Right.
To be their guy, to be the forefront of this league. And this league is suffering badly, not because of underfinancing, not because of accessibility. It's suffering because nobody wants to support the Saudi government. And the PIF fund is a division of the Saudi government. So whether they buy WWE and don't change anything but a little fucking sticker on the thing, you're still, every dollar you give to WWE now, every pay-per-view you would buy, every piece of merchandise
goes to the Saudi government.
Is funding the Saudi government, which has done horrible atrocities to the world for years and years. And you're basically saying by supporting it in any way, shape, or form, whether it's the golf league, the soccer team, WWE, that you're okay with these atrocities, with you're okay with their treatment of women, with you're okay with their fucked up views in the world. And I'm sorry, no matter how much I love wrestling, if it was purchased by Saudi, I'm out.
That's me too, and I said that in our chat. I
me and
will
CJ
not
were
watch
talking
it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's my question is, I guess, why not just give it to your kids and let the legacy through the family continue? I mean, is money that much more important than family, apparently?
To Vince, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean, the guy's going to die in the next 10 years. With money don't mean nothing to him when he's dead.
Another thing, too, you got to think about is this. He is pissed at the simple fact that everybody online right now is saying what? Ever since he left and Triple H took over, WWE is a better product. And he can't stand that.
Yeah. Doc is 100% right.
Yeah.
And you don't think that someone within the WWE leaked out the Saudi stuff just to see what kind of reaction the fans were going to have to it?
That's where I'm at too with it. I think
it was 100% testing the waters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
are you looking at our chat? Are you looking at our chat right now? There's a bunch of people, even at Monstar, who else? The other people are saying, if Saudi's in, I'm out. Enough people say that. It's
well, you think of the obvious ones, the Sami Zayns, the Kevin Owens, the John Cenas, the ones that wouldn't work over there.
And The Rock, you're not going to see The Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, if I could just jump in
ahead,
and put my little opinion in here real quick, please. The sale is imminent regardless of to who it's going to be. But with this company not being private, even though it's probably going to go back to being private, it's going to take a good 3 to 6 months for all of the details of said sale to get worked out. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. So even though, and who's to say that the sale isn't already done? We don't know that.
Yeah.
It could very well be that case, but you're not going to see any changes for at least 6 months.
See, I thought the same thing, CJ, and the reason that I think everybody is kind of getting nervous is the simple fact is right back. I mean, if you think about it, Vince comes back, what happens? Stephanie, boom, out. What pushed her out?
For sure.
Female CEO? They're not going to have a female CEO.
The Saudis aren't going to allow a female CEO.
Well, that's that's kind of my idea on this is whether her thing was in direct correlation to that or not. For the Saudis to even be entertained, they're not going to deal with Stephanie McMahon.
No,
right.
So she had to go.
Yeah.
Now let's take out the whole sell thing and just think about this though. Mm-hmm. Stephanie took a leave of absence prior to the Vince McMahon allegations coming out. She wanted to step away for a while to spend time with her kids and everything like that. So I mean, this very well could just be, well, the old man's coming back. I'm not fighting anymore. Fuck it. I'm going back to my couch.
I'm out.
Yeah, so I mean, this could be nothing more than that, but it also could be like CJ and Doc said, they're priming for the fact that maybe negotiations are happening with Saudi Arabia in the background, and she can't.
I think they've been going on since Vince left.
Since Nick Khan was hired. I think it's been going on.
Listen, back to the why is Vince back? Doc's 100% right, and that's what's fucked up about this whole situation, because literally this is a publicly traded company. The stock prices have been higher than they've been in a long time. It's a healthy company. They have cash flow. They don't owe money. They're about to go into a new rights agreement negotiation for both of their flagship shows. The company is sitting fucking pretty right now, and there's no reason to rock the boat other than the fact that Vince McMahon's ego's hurt. He sees all the shit online about Triple H and everybody liking it better, and he stepped out of the way. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, really? I'm not needed. Fuck you guys.
Let me
and I'm going to burn it down. That's all it is. I'm going to burn it down.
Well, let me piggyback on that and try to spin it positively, because I'm always trying to make
There's no way to.
Well, listen. Well, let me try and see where you guys can go with this.
Okay.
So Vince comes back. We just kind of said that he's not happy the fact that they were doing well without him. So if he's coming back to try to get a sale in the next 6 months, what would you do with your company to try to make it look like the most lucrative thing out there to make the sale? I think he's going to go big, bring the biggest names back. You're going to see Taker. You're going to see Cena. You're going to see, every big name he can bring for Mania for the next 6 months. He's going to want to build to value so that sale will be as lucrative as he can make it. Do you guys think that could, he's going to try to make up for the bad that happened?
I don't think you're going to add any more value than what it's already at. I think he wants to get out sooner than later, and then it's who gives a fuck.
No, here's the thing, though. I'm sorry, Mikey. Your perception of value and a business perception of value are two vastly different things. You saying bringing all these big names back creates value. No, that creates buzz for the fans. But ultimately, they're going to pay out the ass for this, which affects the bottom line, which affects the health, the cash on hand, and the red line, bottom line of the company. And that looks terrible to the people who want to be sold. So I don't see that. I see him probably putting a kibosh on Triple H's, let's bring all these people back, let's bolster the roster.
Do people lose their jobs?
I see them making a huge round of cuts. Absolutely.
People lose their jobs. People leave on their own.
I mean, budget cuts was the rule last time, and it makes sense because if you're going to try to sell, you want to try to eliminate the excess to sell it. And I don't know. I mean, it's a very weird scenario. It's going to be fun to watch it play out.
It's not going to be fun. Maybe
I agree with CJ. This is going the next 6 months.
Interesting.
The amount of misinformation and the amount of anxiety that this is going to give true wrestling fans and the older wrestling fans, the people who are the lapsed fans that you want to bring back, that everybody says, I think that's the key thing for a company right now. These are the people you're going to fucking turn off because the kids don't know any better. They're just
all four of us included.
Yeah, the kids don't know any better. They're going to watch on Monday nights regardless because it's wrestling.
Speaking of someone that was at a WrestleMania before, breaking news out of TMZ 2 minutes ago, Lisa Marie Presley died at age 54.
Oh, wow.
But
go ahead, Doc.
I know it's kind of, but it just popped up. Rumor has it too. There's another name in this pot. I don't know if it's true or not.
It is.
Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Is looking in.
Why not?
To buying this, and you know what? I think he buys it, and I think he literally says, "Hey, Steph, why don't you come back? You guys run it the way you know. Let's just, and then actually you get those super cards that you want. You get professional wrestling the way you wanted it. I would love to see it happen, but there's too many pots on the stove, and I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course AEW. I think those two juggernauts alone. I don't think you should a Ring of Honor. Excuse me. Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't know about the soccer team. Wow.
Yeah. Hey Doc, let's play devil's advocate here. Okay. And I like where your head's at. So what if Shad and Tony Khan, because this would have to be his dad involved. This is going to be a big ticket item.
They'll be a financial partner with them.
They need a partner. That's already been said.
Yeah, but what if they, as the primary shareholders or whatnot, with Warner Brothers backing, let's say, do step in and buy WWE? As Doc said, let's bring Stephanie back as CEO. Let's keep Triple H in charge of creative. Let's keep everything the same as far as WWE goes. The only difference being now, as the NFL has the AFC and the NFC, we're going to have the WWE and AEW. We're going to have two divisions of this company. We're going to have one super card a year like the Super Bowl where you get to see those dream matchups, the Forbidden Door matchups. And he doesn't fuck with it.
It's amazing.
That becomes the wrestling dream right there.
Can Vince say no? I don't want to sell to the con.
Yeah, he could say no.
Yeah, he's
71%. He can
81%.
81%.
81%.
I thought it was 86, but regardless.
I mean, we're
what about The Rock? Where's The Rock at when you need him? Why didn't he sell at XFL and do this?
The Rock can't afford this.
To me, would that be what's best for business? I don't think that would be what's best for business. No. I do, however, feel that would be what was best for the fans.
Could be. So
this but he's not thinking about the fans, and that's already been established. So
this isn't going anywhere. So we will be discussing it more. We're not going to spend the whole hour on it here, but just to go a little bit further, we talked about the awards last time, and we talked about let's look at the most unexpected event of last year. You know, we didn't really pin it down to that. Now, if you were to pick one event, even if it's not one of these four, that was the most unexpected event of last year, would it be the Vince thing? I don't know. The Cody thing kind of surprised me a little more than the Vince thing.
I said Cody.
Well, I get where you're both coming from, but there was rumblings of the Vince McMahon thing for months. There was rumblings of the Cody thing for months. For me, it's the CM Punk suspension. Like, literally, you watched a pay-per-view, the pay-per-view's amazing, and then all of a sudden the next morning you're like, fuck, the Elite's gone, CM Punk's gone, somebody bit somebody's dog. What the fuck is going on?
Jesse Ventura's buying. There you go. Jesse Ventura's going to buy it. There you go.
Jesse Ventura has less money than I do.
Hey, he's going to be at Steel City Con along with Danhausen.
I just thought it was a little interesting to revisit because we did all the awards last week and stuff. But and then there was another little surprise. This was kind of unexpected. I mean, everything was going down, and the next thing you know, Steph, look, they're at AEW Dark.
I mean, it's on the internet, so it must be fucking true, right?
Yeah.
Someone's good with Photoshop and a little bit. I thought that was
Fucking marks.
The internet was a blast. My Twitter feed was crazy. We're gonna move ahead. We're gonna go right into our 2 cents here and talk a little bit about AEW's last couple. Now, this I'm just going to throw out there. I don't know if anybody has anything specific from Friday. They did do Battle of the Belts again. I kind of like, hopefully Battle of the Belts evolves to more, because I like the old Clash of the Champions thing they used to do. And that's the vibe I get. It's not as good, but I enjoyed Friday night, and I want to get to Wednesday. But does anybody have anything they want to talk about from this Friday night, from this?
I think both shows were fucking phenomenal from top to bottom.
In-ring action was great. Yeah.
Rampage has gotten better. I think it's more must watch, not must watch, but better than it has been in the past. But what I really wanted to get into, of course, was last night's show. Mixed reviews from people.
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's where the mixed reviews are from.
967,000. It did not hit 1 million.
Who gives a flying fuck?
If you were expecting Mercedes Moné, because that's how she pronounced it,
care.
That's your own fault.
Don't care.
I don't blame them for the teases. I don't blame them for.
Well, I told you before we went on, I feel like that, yes, she was probably supposed to be the tag team partner, but New Japan said, we don't want her showing up anywhere until after she wrestles a match in New Japan, which I don't blame them.
It's out of respect too, and Tony Khan respects New Japan like no tomorrow. So of course, New Japan letting Takeshita, but we'll talk about Takeshita here in a little bit, because I think Blaze is owed some money.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you start it out, Doc. Here we're gonna go through some of these matches. The opening match, Fire, Moxley and Adam Page. Talk about it there, Doc. There's underlying stories here with the head injuries and stuff.
I think it's a great way of storytelling. John Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, that when he got injured, that was legit. Adam Page kind of returning the favor, and Moxley, they didn't really show. They showed footage, of course, on the internet afterwards, but being helped out of the ring, act like he has a head injury now. Maybe finally Moxley gets his vacation. Which would be,
yeah,
it's phenomenal, and I give him credit where credit's due. He's the one that jumped in. He's the one that stepped up to the plate and took the flag and went with it after CM Punk shit all over it. So, like I'm saying, I really love the storytelling in this. It's just, I think these two are building towards like a Rock Austin kind of feud where you're going to see them love each other and hate each other, but they're always going to be in the ring together. I think it's going to be great.
CJ, what do you think about our opening match?
They beat the ever-loving piss out of each other, and with the story that was being told throughout this whole thing, I think it was a 10 out of 10 for me. And that's that's how it's fucking done.
People out there that are saying there's no storylines in AEW can kiss my ass,
shit.
Because that's really horrible. You're not paying attention or watching closely enough.
You don't, and this is no disrespect to any wrestling fans. If you're saying that there's no storylines, I'd like to know what you're watching. Or maybe by you being, a watcher of our podcast show, we can help you better understand, because you're missing something. I promise you that. And that's not meant in any disrespectful sort of way.
Quit perusing Facebook and watch the fucking match.
I mean this with all sorts of disrespect. If you don't think that was storytelling, you're a fucking mark.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice.
Goddamn show to watch.
So LA, Ray, how about the crowd with the opening match and everything, Ray? Elaborate.
LA Ray, that's an awesome name right there.
Take it. Was phenomenal. This, like CJ said, like Doc said, the story was fantastic. Moxley gets to take his vacation now. I like the way they didn't play up the injury on TV, but they played it up on the internet and on their Instagram and things like that. Kind of like they're not trying to put it out there, but it's out there, and I'm sure they'll touch on it in the future. But now we get Moxley to be off for a month and a half, and then he comes back. They have their rubber match because they're 1-1 at the next pay-per-view. And like it's already been said, I can't say it any better than the boys already said it. These two work phenomenally together. It's stiff as shit. It's the edge that Hangman Page has been missing. It's been there sometimes with his stuff, and then sometimes it falls away. But the whole hangman cowboy shit gimmick, he needs to be an ass kicker. He needs to be a bad son of a bitch, and that's what we saw last night.
And they're doing it safe. They're doing it safe too.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part of the show was the surprise that was not in the dirt sheets. It was not all over the place. And the next thing you know, Adam Cole makes his return. Tony Schiavone even threw us off with his little intro.
Yeah, everybody thought that was definitely going to be
MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was my favorite part of the show. And I'm glad that health-wise, he is okay. And he did a very good job, in my opinion, with his promo with the whole good news, bad news thing. Yep. Because I bought it. He had me hook, line, and sinker that I thought he was done.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I had an 8-year-old about ready to cry on the couch just about 5 minutes ago because he actually fell asleep before he came on. And I turned it on. He said bad news. And he was like, oh, no, here we go. He thought he was going to retire. And as soon as he did it, like my son's sold and ready to go on Adam Cole. So
another thing we don't talk about enough, I think, is that in the past calendar year, AEW has not been 100% roster at all, or even close. So, I mean, now with some of these people coming back, Moxie might take a little leave, but to have some of these names back and everything, I'm really excited about what they can bring here in 2023. And I think they got to step up their game. I think the competition is there.
I think they already have, in a way.
Yeah. And I think we got a little bit of everything in the show. Some people disagree, but I think this was, and these are 4 of my favorite women wrestlers right off the bat.
It was good. It was fucking solid. I have 0 things at all bad to say about last night.
Saraya looked better. She looked like she was getting into the groove a little more.
I was going to say her in-ring work looked like it was a step up from what we saw at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The only thing I really noticed, this is a bad thing about the storytelling for AEW, in my opinion. The crowd kind of shat on Saraya a little bit. They were not
Tony
into
Storm.
her. Yeah. And the reason being is they've been building – Britt and Jamie are supposed to be the heels. But they've been building Britt and Jamie, saying that these are our homegrown talents. These are AEW originals, blah, blah, blah. That is a babyface build.
True.
So you're babyface building your heels and then hoping for a babyface reaction for the outsiders that come from WWE. Like, honestly, Jamie Hayter's over like fucking Rover.
Big pop for her.
Britt's a tweener anyways. Yeah. Let's fucking flip them. Let Saraya and Tony go heel. Play into the natural things of the storytelling. Like, why fight it? I hate when they do this. They tried this bullshit with Charlotte and Becky. Like, the fans are telling you what the fuck to do. Listen. Listen.
Someone said this, and I wasn't really against it, and I didn't really think of it, but if you take like Athena and throw her with Tony and Saraya, and you get all these ex-WWE women against the homegrown and have a blood and guts or something with it. Who knows?
I think you guys would all agree with me on this, that Saraya and Tony were shot in the ass before this even started because everybody was expecting Sasha. So they were going to get shit on regardless, and it's no fault of their own. And the wrestler in me, it was still a solid fucking match, but it was doomed from the get-go.
To me, the idea of Mercedes Moné showing up would be a spectacle, but the match itself to me was much better than someone just showing up. That's me.
I want to give you Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Doc, I know you're next, and I want to touch on this because I know you loved this fucking stable just as much as I did. Back in the day in TNA, before it was Impact Wrestling, you had Christian Cage, AJ Styles, and Tomko.
Yes.
They were a 3-way stable. Great. They were entertaining as fuck. They were kind of heelish because they were kind of dicks, but they were so over like baby faces that they became tweeners. And honestly, I see the same thing here. You have the person who's already over like crazy with Britt Baker. You have the technical savant and Jamie Hayter. And then you got Rebel, who's the fucking comic relief. And why not play into that? Let them flip, baby. Let the crowd tell you. They love them already.
You know what else this reminds me of? And I mean, you brought up Rebel. I think of Showtime Eric Young, and I think about that jacket that I still own in my closet that you bought me for Christmas. Yes, the Team Canada. I mean, I know there's no really Canadian roots there, but I will say they had pretty much an aspect like Hater, Baker, and Rebel. You know, you had Showtime Eric Young as the comedy relief. You had Bobby Roode as the badass. And I forget, oh my God help. Oh, Petey Williams. You know, you had Petey Williams,
the established guy.
Exactly, but you also had Petey Williams kind of took TNA by storm because he was such a badass, just like Hater's doing. So I mean, it's there. However, I will say with this feud, I agree completely. I think the crowd, they kind of shit on Saraya and Tony Storm. I do like the whole, oh my God, did I give the stick to the wrong person? Like that sarcastic. Yeah. I love what they're doing with Sheeta. I do. I think it's great. And I think Sheeta is kind of like, well, fuck me, fuck you too. And I think you're going to see, I hope somebody's listening to this, because I think a homegrown stable versus the girls that came over stable would be phenomenal. Could you imagine Jade walking over and being like, yeah, let's do this, girls. And like just them turn around and just beat the shit.
Well, she's another one that actually, I mean, the crowd has been flipping in her favor.
Yes,
true.
No matter how much they push her heel, the crowd is flipping her for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at some point you have to listen and lean into these.
Yeah.
So, you know, great stuff, even though the expectation was that Mercedes Moné was going to show up.
Which I really, like I said before, I really think that was supposed to be her partner.
Seems that way.
Most likely.
And I still think you're going to see her show up sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, they've already made the announcement that the Ring of Honor show coming up, Supercard of Honor, will be Ring of Honor plus wrestlers from all around the world. He's made that known. So it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in for that show.
What would you do if Takeshita hits the ring and he has a surprise opponent and you hear the violins?
Oh, fucking beat off.
I was just saying, could you imagine if Shinsuke Nakamura comes out? I mean, hell, anything could happen in this day and age.
So speaking of that, Doc, keep us rolling here. Takeshita and Danielson,
oh
great
God,
workers.
one of the best.
And the MJF promo, which was approved, and he used my old "take a shit" line and all that.
But what's funny about that is the people that watch this podcast, the minute he said that, everybody thought of you, Blaze. I mean, my kid literally turned around and went, Is Blaze getting money for this? And I laughed.
I'm not the only one.
I laughed. I know, but I laughed so hard at that because he was like, take your shit up. And Bodie goes, I mean, the face, just the, oh my God, look what happened.
It was so good.
Before we get into this match, did anybody see the fact that some girl called MJF out on Twitter? Saying that he walked over, it was like, how old are you? And she was like, what? Are you talking to me? And he was like, you missed your chance, rat, and walked away.
Yeah.
His promo was pretty fucking fire. Him ragging on Ken Jeong and
90% of that was a CJ Sensation promo where he talked about banging rats.
And Freddie Prinze. Freddie Prinze is like, what did I do? And they put the camera on him.
That was great.
I hate to say this, guys, but whenever he did the banging rats, I thought CJ, I thought of you instantly.
I would hope you thought of me.
I did.
Because if you didn't, I'm doing something wrong.
I was going to say, that was a CJ Sensation gimmick circa 2008.
I've made it known since day one. I think Takeshita is a star. He's proven it. They brought him back. They signed him. He just, everything he does looks like he's been doing this for decades for some reason.
I would love to see him and somebody like maybe a Wheeler Yuta. Or a Daniel Garcia, somebody else young and upcoming. Put those two together as a tag team and let them be like the technical fucking beast of a tag team. You know what I mean? He needs somebody with him at this point. Like, he's a fucking star. There's no doubt. But we need kind of like that buffer to help him acclimate to the American audience, not to the ring. He's fucking phenomenal in the ring, but to the American audience. And I think if you put him in a tag team with somebody who's sort of over already, that they would just push each other until they blew up on each other. And then that would make him.
I'm excited about what
I think he's doing a pretty good. I don't disagree with you, Ray, but I think he's doing a pretty good job of it already on his own.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's young. I don't know how young he is, but I know he's pretty damn
probably
young.
In his early 20s, I'd imagine.
So
I want to say he's not 25 yet. I
was thinking 23, 24. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Scooby Dooby douchebag line.
Yeah,
it's pretty good too. So, I mean, you put mics in some of these guys' hands, they're great, and I love it. I thought it was a good mix of, I think the only thing I would have done if I would have rearranged anything was the JAS part and the other promos. Switch those promos. Move Adam Cole later on.
Agreed.
That's all, but that's a minor.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got the main event, which it was pretty much call your shot. We kind of thought that they were going to come back and get that 7th match. People love or hate these types of matches. I love them. I don't want every match on the show to be this, but like I said, we got the
it was good.
Match. We got a grinding match, and we got a high-flying spot fest.
And I'd like to throw something out there real quick because I was in different forums on Facebook and wrestling sites. Oh, why was there a ref in the fucking ring when it's a ladder match? Okay, let me explain something to you. A referee is a bigger part of a match than people might realize. It's for the safety of the men and women that do these types of matches. It's for time cues. It's for a lot of things. So I had zero fucking issues, of course, with there being a referee in the match at times to ensure the safety of the performers.
Especially in this type of match with the spots they're doing. If somebody gets massively injured, that 30 to 45 seconds between somebody coming from the outside to check on the wrestler to throw an X up we just saw it in the NFL. That could make a world of fucking difference.
Yeah. True.
Another thing too, you have guys that hold the ladders. I mean, you've seen refs stand on the ladders like, oh, you don't want to do that, but you can see them putting their foot. They're there to protect those guys, and I'm fine with that because if they're going to put their bodies on the line, God bless, let the refs, help them out a little bit.
And again, people need to understand, and this is going back on what I said a few minutes ago. This is a team fucking effort. The referees, the cameraman, the production people, the ring announcers, the commentators. If one of those pieces is not there, it doesn't go off right.
And it's not, a spot fest, it's not always the same shit. I don't think I've seen a one-winged angel off of a ladder that's vertical like that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Horizontal, and that was crazy.
Not to mention the fact, Blaze, the point you're trying to make about the spot fest, there was a lot of storytelling in the match. Kenny played up the injuries from Wrestle Kingdom and the fact that he was on a 17-hour jet lag. Don Callis plugged that in the promos.
And the hand stuff.
They brought in the weapons that they've used, the hammers that they've used over and over again. Nick Jackson played into his multiple injuries. The hand stuff that was told the entire way through the match. Yeah. I mean,
same thing Danielson. When Danielson sold his knee, that was like, it really looked like his knee was bad until he started using that leg. And I'm like, they're just gold at selling this shit. Yep. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. House of Black got to be first in line for this trios.
I don't want to see it first in line.
No? Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think they're first.
I want to see that materialize by the next pay-per-view. So we still have a month and a half?
Mm-hmm. Well,
March something. Yeah.
So let's get a title defense or two. Let's have the House of Black keep running through people. And then maybe either at the pay-per-view or right before the pay-per-view, we bring that into fruition. But that is the first real feud that I want to see. But one, you need to give these guys time to heal. I mean, they've just had...
There's a lot of dangerous shit.
They just had 7 of the best fucking matches you could see. Mm-hmm. And if anybody doubts any of these guys' ability or doesn't think especially that Kenny Omega is one of the top 3 pro wrestlers in the fucking world, you're a joke and a moron.
Yeah, quit watching wrestling.
I'm excited. I'm excited about where all this stuff's going to go, but I'm also excited about a new segment that we're going to have here, and I'm going to put my game show host hat on, and we're going to do a little game show host type thing here.
Gong show?
So we have just 2 little quick games before we end today's show, but this will be a new segment where I will play the good old game show host, and we'll have a little fun with it. Why not? All right, so real quick,
can I just comment on Wild Eye Yeti?
Yeti's a very unique individual.
He wants you to choppy your people.
Yeah, who's Sean? Who's Sean?
That's Monstar.
Sean informed me that Doc doesn't have the chops unless you count pork chops. First of all, pork chops are fucking delicious.
With applesauce, motherfuckers.
With applesauce, thank you. But I will say, I mean, everybody has their niche. My mom was pork chops. Ray's wife makes the best stuffed chicken breast ever. Yes, everybody has a niche. However, those pork chops better be fucking delicious. That's all I got to say. And I'm not going to be doing the chopping on Blaze. You want a pro in there like CJ or somebody else that can really give it to
I took a 50% chop from Ray once at band practice. I will not do it again.
I have frying pans for hands. I will collapse your lungs.
Yeah,
I thought this was kind of funny.
What I was going to say, though, is CJ backed me up on this, but the thought of Doc and Blaze having a chop vest on each other is like two special need kids in the Special Olympics boxing match. I will pay to see this now.
It's entertainment. Now that's entertainment.
I will pay to see this now.
Boy.
We don't mention that.
I will pay.
Did you know if
I'm a coach and I'm going to ask you nicely, please? No.
First off, have I or have I not volunteered for the Special Olympics?
You DJ'd for them, yes, and I thanked you.
Don't give me no shit. I'm just talking about the awkward motherfucker that you are, chopping the awkward bird chest of Blaze, and then his lanky fucking arms coming back. It's your supple man titties, and the fucking hilarity that would ensue.
Yes. Sign me the fuck up. I will buy that deal with the Saudi money.
Oh boy! So here's my corny dad joke of the week, that if you take those two titles and bump them together, you get Cody's neck tattoo. Okay.
Damn.
It's really bad.
And going back to what Ray just said, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Royal Rumble, and this is where our little game show is going to go. Plus, we're going to have a little choosing of what house you would want to hang out in. So this is the Royal Rumble poster. A lot of people are saying it's electrifying. The big key with the lightning is that The Rock is going to be there. We'll see. It's still yet to be determined. But let's play two little quick games here. The first one is this little tidbit that I found. You know, we're going to get this match, obviously. We don't need to talk about it. We'll talk about that match whenever we get to it. So we're going to start with CJ.
Okay.
And this has obviously been edited and updated. So if you were to stay in one of these 6 houses, which house would you want to hang out in? And audience chat out there, let us know which house.
Let me take a quick peek here.
I'll start if you guys want.
I'm ready.
Go ahead,
I'm ready. I'm between house number 1 and house number 4, but my final answer is house number 1 because Becky, because Charlotte, because if I still drank, which I don't, I think it'd be a lot of fun to fucking party it up with the Brawling Brutes. Seth Rollins, I already kind of know, obviously. And I think just the New Day would be a blast. Just watching the video of Big E losing his mind with big meaty men slapping meat, like I laugh every time I see it. So I think it'd be a really good fucking time.
House 1 for CJ. I'm right there with you. I would take house 4. The Bray Wyatt would be intriguing. Randy, throw Riddle with him, please. Street Profits, we're going to party. And I'm a huge Bianca fan, so I know her husband will be there too, which will make it kind of awkward. But I'll go house number 4.
I mean, maybe he's into cucking.
You never know. We got some house threes out there.
And
Doc, do you have a house? Which house is Doc hanging out in?
I'm hanging out in house 2. And the reason is not just for the wrestling conversation, but also for the music conversation. And I have a lot of, metal. I'm into that stuff. And so is Rhea. So is Edge. So is Priest. I just think it would be a good time. Plus Stone Cold throwing them back. It would be a good time just to hear some of them stories, man, especially Edge and Stone Cold. Those feuds with The Undertaker, feuds with The Rock. It would just be awesome to sit and listen.
I agree. It's good. How about
also listen to Rhea and her man do it in the next room. Go ahead. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going by the women thing, I mean, Becky's with her husband. Charlotte Flair's damn near a man.
Oh, come on.
Charlotte's beautiful.
Husband.
Stop it.
Naomi's with her husband. I mean, part of me wants to go house 6, because the Undisputed Era are awesome dudes, and we all know my affinity for Bailey. However, I gotta hang out with Doc in House 2. Finn Balor's a fucking legend. Edge would be fucking cool as hell to sit there and shoot the shit with. The most fun of that house would be Stone Cold Steve Austin fucking ragging on Dominic Mysterio the whole time. What? You little son of a bitch.
Good point.
I'll beat your dad's ass. I whooped your dad's ass. I don't know how many times. Now I can hear it down, yeah.
So I saw this on social media.
Playing the whole mommy thing and defends him, and that should be funny as fuck.
I figured that little game would be fun, but I got one more, and we're gonna play the booking wheel. We're gonna play the booking wheel. This little list came out, which is if you look at it, I don't see maybe most of these are gonna be the Rumble. This pretty much is gonna be your field in the Rumble, barring one or two, maybe a Braun come up or something else, surprise here or there. But if this is your 30-man Rumble, we're going to go ahead and spin the booking wheel. We're going to find out each person. We're going to spin the wheel. Whoever you land on, you're going to tell us what number you think they would come in. If they have eliminations, who eliminates them. Book their Rumble. So let's try and bring in the good old cheap-ass looking wheel.
Yay, it's back. Look at that son of a bitch. All right.
It's back. All right.
Hey, we spare no expense on production value.
Yes. So we have all 30 names up here.
We don't have the funds like that wrestling podcast.
I'm with Quentin.
Rumor has it, though, they're purchasing WWE. All right.
Hey, you never know. All right, so
at least we'd finally get jobs.
Ha! I know.
We'll start with Ray on this one. We'll spin the wheel. He will let us know what number he thinks they would come into. If they get any eliminations, who eliminates them. Just book their Royal Rumble. Dexter Lumis.
While I am a big fan of Dexter Lumis, it doesn't fucking matter where he comes in. Because he'll be going right back out. He ain't going to do shit. He don't matter for shit in the Rumble. I just hope he creeps somebody out and like breathes on their neck or something before they throw him out.
Snips their hair like Joe Biden.
Fair enough. All right, CJ, let's see who he gets.
Okay.
Oh, interesting one here. Logan Paul. Will he get any eliminations? Where will he come in at?
He ain't going to be there.
I think Logan Paul uses his crypto scam, buys the WWE. I say you put him in towards the tail end, have him be one of the last few. Have him hit a couple big spots like we know he can do, have a good showing, and get eliminated.
Does he get any eliminations?
Because
that's where they had him coming in like 27 here.
Yeah, why not? I think he does get some eliminations.
All right. That's fair enough. That'll be interesting. All right. Let's see who Doc gets here.
Man.
A little NXT flavor. Carmelo Hayes. Does he make some headway? Does he get some eliminations? Where's he come in at?
I say you put him in like 8 or 9, and you have him eliminate. Let me see. You have him eliminate an NXT guy that he's had. He's done business with it. He's had a feud with her. Santos Escobar would be a good choice because the simple fact is they both have held that NXT North American title. You have him go in, couple flips, get his spots in, get his shit in, as they like to say. As soon as he's done, have him eliminate Santos Escobar. He turns around. He's like, yeah, bitches. I knew him in NXT. He turns around and goes, oh, God, there's Gunther. And Gunther just – and then that's the end of old
Fair enough.
Carmelo.
All right, let's see what I get here.
Herpes.
AIDS.
Syphilis.
Gonorrhea.
Damian Priest. I'm just going to get ridiculously stupid and say Rhea Ripley ends up eliminating him from the outside.
I like it.
I like it too. I say put him in at number 1 and have him last a long time. He went 50 minutes on Monday, so he could go.
And we know, I mean, I'm not even, maybe Rhea is even in the men's rumble.
But
if anyone could, she could.
If you could do this, you could have him and her double team like 1 or 2 people. You know how they do the high five thing? She goes to high five him, kicks him in the nuts, and tosses him out. I mean, it would be such a heel.
Tosses him out by his nuts.
Wow.
If you're into that shit.
There you go. So this little practice, I want to bring it back. So we'll come back to that because we got 2 weeks until we got the Rumble. Just a little test thing. I don't want to. We could go on forever, but just real quick, I saw this little tidbit go out there. Now this is obviously things are always a work in progress, but this is what the Mania could look like, and I kind of dig it. I mean,
I think that's all changed now with Vince back.
that's another. Is there anything here that sticks out to you guys? Or now the Money in the Bank is going to be in the UK, so those two will be out of here. They're not at Mania, right? Because they announced they're going to have Money in the Bank pay-per-view is going to be in the UK.
At the O2 in London.
Yeah.
I think
the talk is Cena versus Balor, or Cena versus Paul, not Balor.
See, I heard Cena versus Theory.
Yeah, so did I.
And I don't know if we're going to get Sammy and Kevin.
Especially him on Monday Night Raw screaming, "The champ is here."
Here's what I want to know from you guys. Does Sammy leave the bloodline before Mania?
Yes.
Yes.
He needs to.
Yeah? Okay.
We've actually seen we haven't really touched on this stuff, but let's talk about it a little bit. So the up on Friday where Paul adjusted and all that stuff, we've had that tease the last couple of weeks of them splitting. I think what needs to happen, everybody says the bloodline should turn on Sammy. I think the opposite now.
I agree.
I think Sammy needs to turn. Mm-hmm. I think Sammy needs to blindside Roman in the back or blindside the Usos or something like that, where he realizes, I'm tired of being your fucking lapdog. Sammy's already so over as a baby face without being a baby face, that if he's the one to turn, if he's the one to say, I'm not going to put up with this bullying anymore, this abuse, you using me, I think it puts him over the top as one of the biggest baby faces around. And then gives you a legit reason to pull for Sammy, as opposed to Sammy getting his ass kicked by the bloodline, crawling back to Kevin for help. And then it's just, you were a dumbass that trusted the wrong people.
Or have the bloodline jump him and then have Owens save him, of course.
But again, think about the sympathy of the fact. If I tell you 1,000 times not to be friends with Blaze, and then Blaze turns and kicks your ass, then
it's your own fucking
fault.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you realizing that Blaze is a piece of shit and you can't take it anymore.
True.
He had to add that in, didn't he?
Perfect segue.
I think that needs to happen, and the way that it should happen, in my opinion, is at the Rumble. Yeah. I think the entire bloodline should come down after the match, beat the shit out of Kevin Owens. I'm talking through tables. I know WWE doesn't do blood, but this would be an instance to do blood, bust him open, be trying to end his career, and Sammy turns. The fact of watching them almost end his friend's career or threatening to end his friend's career hits the aha moment for Sammy.
Yeah.
And then we have the entire road to WrestleMania of him and Sammy trying to be the biggest thorn in the bloodline side, jumping them whenever they can, doing whatever they can to fuck with them and trying to earn a title shot. Whether it's a singles title shot or a tag team title shot, and ultimately it ends up being a tag team title shot. But that needs to be the road to WrestleMania storyline, especially if you're going to bring The Rock back, because The Rock's not going to be on TV every week. So we need someone to be the protagonist.
Down with it. Cool. So we've covered a lot of the stuff that's went down. I mean, we'll see where the Vince stuff goes. We'll see where the sale ends up. We have, rumor has it by summer they're trying to do it now, and we got AEW ramping up, but now we'll get to that at the end of the day here and get our final thoughts. CJ Sensation, the man that's stepping back into the wrestling ring at the end of this month against Preston Everest.
Yes.
At the end of the day, my friend.
At the end of the day, enjoy wrestling. And if you're complaining about something, reach out to maybe people in the know that could explain to help you understand better. And, with all this WWE Saudi rumors, blah, blah, blah. How about this? Support indie fucking wrestling. These are the stars of tomorrow. So do yourself a favor and go check it out. Clap. You could clap like them rats' booty cheeks. And yeah, my head's fucking killing me for the second day in a row. Love you guys. Yeah, that's all I
got. DH Bruiser at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I can't wait to sit in the crowd and watch CJ get blown the fuck up at the end of the month.
Wow.
Smarter, not harder. Working smarter, not harder.
That's one. Two, I missed you boys because I'm an idiot and fell asleep in my chair last week because I was on a 48-hour stretch.
Yeah.
Three, I have a nephew that I haven't seen for Christmas and a killer fucking present sitting at my house waiting for him.
All right, this weekend I was gonna talk to you.
And four, man, does it look big in these hands?
Or those nails painted. Those nails are painted too.
Doc, please save us from this madness at the end of the day.
After that hand comment, I have nothing. Doc, at the end of the day, enjoy wrestling. That's all I can say. Is just enjoy it as much as. It's paining me to see this the sale happen. Enjoy wrestling for what it is.
At the end of the day, don't let anybody tell you if you're a wrestling fan or not. Don't let anybody tell you what is right or wrong for what you think you like in wrestling. That's the beauty of it. Your WrestleSense is whatever you want to like, and that's the beauty of it. You can watch whatever shows you want to watch, hate whatever shows and wrestlers you don't want to watch. And just have fun with it, man. That's what I miss when we were kids, and it was so much fun to watch the wrestling shows.
Unless it's Indy Hartwell.
And fuck Indy Hartwell.
Right
in her bunghole.
I love her. I just had
right in there. We'll see you next week, everybody. Peace. We're out of here.